Hi, I'm Dawn Carlisle, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm excited to share my health story with you, so I'm just going to jump in and get started. A little about me. I was a stay-at-home mom for the better part of about 20 years, and in 2014, I had started a job that I really liked for a nonprofit, and I was looking to transition into uh, being an empty nester as my son graduated and started his new life. And just a few months into that, in early October, late November, or early November, somewhere in there, I got a virus. And it was a really bad virus, and it kept me down for about a week. And I should back up and say that I had been diagnosed with lupus a few years before that by a rheumatologist. And I had been on the drug Plaquenil, which I don't know if you've ever heard of Plaquenil, but it was originally a malaria drug. And if you're on it, you can't be in the sun. You're not supposed to be in the sunlight. It helped with joint pain that came with the autoimmune stuff. And I also had some migraines and like about one a month maybe, and I had some other just health issues. But when this virus hit, the virus went away, it set off an autoimmune flare. The virus went away, but the fever that came with it stayed. And that fever stayed for a year and a half. It would, and I don't mean I would get a little bit of a fever every day. I mean, for a year and a half, my temperature stayed between 99 and 101.5, just low grade for a year and a half. So my immune system was wrecked. My migraines picked up to where they were more like every like 2 or 3 a week instead of like one a month. My joint pain got horrible, even on the Plaquenil. I had fluid that built up around my brain, which they had to drain off. I had to have IV iron infusions. I had horrible IBS. And I know that's really gross to talk about, but I had horrible IBS. And I mean, I had to know where every bathroom was. I felt like I just couldn't leave the house. And then it got to a point where I saw 9 different specialists. I was scanned and tested from stem to stern. And they could tell me a lot of things that were wrong with me, but they couldn't tell me why or what was causing it or how to make it stop. During that time, I did have a doctor disagree with the diagnosis of lupus, and she said it was still an autoimmune disease, but she called it undifferentiated connective tissue disease, but she still treated it with Plaquenil. So I ended up 9 different specialists, and I ended up on 9 different prescription medications. 3 of those for IBS, some for migraines, some for joint pain. Just, it was, and my doctor said, especially during flu season, with this fever and us not knowing exactly what's wrong with you, your immune system is low. You should really stay out of the public. You shouldn't be going and shaking hands with people, hugs, kisses. I love my church, and it's a big part of my life. I volunteer with it. My friends are there. They're family to us. And I couldn't go to church for a year and a half. And because, as much as even if you make an announcement that says, hey, Dawn's immune system is low, let's, give her some space, wave to her, you still had sweet, well-meaning people that would say, hey, I'm going to give you a hug anyway because I love you. And then I'd end up even sicker. And it was really hard. I had hypoglycemia really bad during that time. My blood sugar would drop to like 40. My husband, who's a paramedic or EMT volunteer firefighter, would check my blood sugar and it would be so low it was scary. He would rip open a pack of glucose from his jump bag and squeeze it down my throat. This was how we lived for a year and a half, almost 2 years. He would ask me if I was dying, and I didn't know how to answer him. I didn't know if I was or not. I felt like I was. I was bedbound most of the time, lethargic, and I just felt like I wasn't getting any help. So then I saw my friend Jenna, and she was posting about Plexus. She had had some similar problems to mine, a lot of the similar problems to mine, not exactly the same, but similar. She was just as ill as I was, and all of a sudden she's better, and she's taking these Plexus products, and she's talking about getting to the root of her problems with healing her gut. And finally I called her and I said, hey, tell me about this Plexus stuff. And I talked to my husband, and he said, yeah, let's try it. I'll try it with you. And he was just trying it with me to be supportive, because we needed something to change, because that couldn't be my life at, just over 40 years old. And so I started on the Plexus Triplex. The Triplex is Plexus Slim, BioCleanse, and ProBio 5. And I also started with the X Factor multivitamin. And within a month, my fever was gone. I mean, I was in tears the day that my fever was gone. I will never forget that day, because I thought I was going to have a fever for the rest of my life. My joint pain started getting better. Little by little, I was able to get off medications, and I got off all 9 of those prescription medications. Doctor approved. I didn't just stop them. I stopped needing them. Healing my gut from the inside out helped so many things and stopped my autoimmune flare in its tracks. It was life-changing for me to get on these products. So it was and I had, lost my job in the midst of everything because I was out for so long. So it made sense for me to make this what I do and tell people about it, because I'm going to anyway. And it's been life-changing for us financially as well. The business made sense, and so now this is what I do. And I would love to see what this could do for you. If you'd like to know more about my story, you can message me. And if you'd like to know anything about specific products that helped, I'd be glad to help you get started.